What's up, everybody?
Hey. Whoa.
Wow.
Sorry. Good morning.
Going with a shake. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this.
Yes. How are you guys today?
Yes.
So we're here with coffee, or for coffee and convo.
Look at that, we're matching even, babe. Black and white. Not clothes, but cups. Nice. We're matching in coffee color today as well. Can't show you, but
no,
I'm less on the creamer, so I'm
you're less
darker today.
Less on the creamer, and I'm a little more on the creamer, so we both went a little bit.
Yes.
Hey, that was accidental, but that actually fits pretty good. Well, kind of good. We are talking today about kingdom collaboration.
Yes.
And you know what happens when we see things, some things differently, and how does that look and work? And so we ended up meeting in the middle now.
Oh, so that's the accidental part. I'm like, what is accidental? I love accidental.
our colors came together.
They met. That was the first thing I noticed when he came up here with his coffee. I'm like, oh, look at that, babe. We're the same color.
But in essence, it doesn't actually make a truth, because kingdom collaboration is not about being the same or conforming. But that's
right.
We'll get into that anyway. Cheers, babe.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers, babe.
And cheers to all of you who are watching. Thank you for your time. You are amazing.
Yes.
You are awesome. There's so much value.
Come on.
So much greatness. So much that is good about you. That is right about you. We celebrate you today, just as we 100% believe Father is celebrating you. I mean, even as we can think good things about you, He's thinking even better and more about you. And hopefully we inspire and empower you to think of yourself the way He thinks about you, at least a little more, that you see more of what He sees for you, that you see more of who He really is. Anyway.
Yeah, and that you will see like Him and believe like Him, because it's when we get that awareness and that revelation about us, right?
So you are awesome. Here's to you.
Cheers to you.
Jason Qualley, what's up, brother? To you, my friend. So, all right.
Yes, kingdom collaboration.
Kingdom collaboration. Obviously, that is something very important.
Yes.
In the kingdom is collaboration, working together. If we are going to, just be part of the kingdom, it's always about connecting with one another, doing things together. It's never isolation. It's never alone. I mean, even from the beginning, Father God created humanity for relationship with Him, togetherness, and then said, oh, wait, let's not have man be alone. Let's create woman, right? Or let's create Eve. Let's not be a lone individual. So there's at that point, as well as when you look practically and you're saying, we are going to bring upgrades, we're going to bring kingdom solutions in every area of life. It takes more than one person to impact and make something real and sustainable all along. I mean, even pre-kingdom people are saying, hey, you're not self-made
never.
anywhere. There's always input in this journey of relationships. So that's collaboration. But, and the importance of it, which is a big deal in my heart, is just saying, how do we connect to bring real solutions everywhere? But then on top of that, it's like, we kind of, as people, we can tend to have, or we can have this tendency of, how, I don't 100% agree with what you're saying or what you see. Therefore, I cannot run with you. Therefore, I cannot work with you. I cannot collaborate with you. And there are so many differences in the world.
Right.
So many differences within the kingdom. Like we talk about how Father God is so vast and so great and has all this, wisdom and insight and so much expression. And then when there's so much we can disagree on, or there's so much that can be different, and when it's different, then we struggle to say, well, we can't really collaborate with you, or we can't run with you because this is different from what I believe, or your expression is different from my expression.
So there's two things I'm thinking of, kind of two questions. When you say that, then I'm like, why is it so easy to think first of the things you don't agree with, or that those things always kind of seem to stand out more than to just find the things that you are common ground with. And then the other thing is that I'm thinking of is like, why do we think disagreement is a bad thing? Because
Okay.
I wonder if that's just, if we see that as something bad or wrong, where, I mean, us in our marriage and stuff, there is things that are different.
Well, I was going to say, that falls over onto all levels. Not only like what do you believe, personality styles are different, and we try to shape everybody into our style. It's all these things.
So I think, and you can disagree with me, it's a good thing, but I think like, why do we think different is bad? Different is not bad, and actually I think, especially in conversation, disagreement is healthy. Like maybe not.
So
that's not how you should say it, but like different point of views.
Are you saying right? So are you saying disagreement and being different are the same?
That's a good
because now you
question.
said different point of view.
Yeah.
So I mean, technically, you could disagree over a different point of view, but it doesn't necessarily. It just
Yeah.
It means you have means you're different, but do you necessarily?
But like when we talk about collaboration, I think it is I think we need to focus more on the common ground and the like-mindedness, because of course, I mean, you're passionate about something, right? And you have like a certain vision and goal in life, and so automatically you're going to be drawn to people that are, and vice versa, people to you that are believing and passionate about the same thing. Is that something you could say?
I would agree with that. I think there's a healthy strength in that, right? Because you can build a momentum and run together.
Yeah.
If someone is pointed in the same direction, like, hey, I'm going after this, it's easy. So if you want to talk about mountains, if someone's in a business mountain, if I'm running side by side, trying to implement solutions in the business mountain, and I'm running with someone who's like, really called the arts and entertainment, and they don't care anything about business structure or whatever, it's going to be hard to build a momentum in one aspect, because they're going to be drawn in how do we express this artistic side or show Father's face and heart in this, and I'm trying to say, hey, how do we build a structure for wealth? So on one hand, we do need to find the like-minded, the similar passion running the same direction, but then there has to be this collaboration throughout all the mountains and the different passions, and that takes on a whole nother level of, basically I would say maybe the kingdom expression or expansion or solution-based heart and love of Father. Yeah. So in light of that, we do need to cross-pollinate through the different spheres of influence, mountains of influence. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that does.
Or am I just getting off on?
No, but then how do we do that? Like, how do we do that practically? And I'm thinking too within the body, I think sometimes where the issues come are like, when I think of the church, the body, it's like convictions.
Sure.
Or beliefs that if they're not the same, it's like, I don't know.
I mean, I've done that. We've done that in ourselves, which is why we're having this conversation, because we even had it the other day, and it's like, does that really matter or not?
Right.
Like,
right.
why does that feeling pop up? Why is that even being self-aware?
Yes.
Why am I having that approach? You know, if I hear someone speaking or whatever, and it's like, okay, what, you know, do I agree with that or not? I agree with this, whatever. Why is that approach there? And I think, I mean, obviously the body has come pretty good. They, at some point, I don't want to highlight the negative too much, but we've come to a point where it's like, yeah, it's my responsibility to point out everybody and everything that's wrong.
Right.
So we find a lot of people,
Very
especially on social media, but even before social media was here, it was like, it's my responsibility to show you the preacher or the pastor who's a heretic, you know, who's telling lies, who's a false prophet, all this stuff. And I'm like, you know what, that was never really anybody, that wasn't Jesus's approach or focus, you know, when he was here on earth. So I guess you could almost tie that, some people call it the religious spirit. Right.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with calling a thing and being or speaking out, being led. What is your motivation, right? Foundation. Let your motivation be love. If it's not, just shut up. But you just, where was I going? He normally gets the blank moments. I never have blank moments.
Normally just keep talking.
I just keep talking.
If I have a blank moment, I just shut up because the words are just spilling out. No, so you were saying about like...
Oh, yeah. Pointing it out. No, you were saying pointing it out.
Pointing it out, calling it out.
Calling it out. Yeah. I don't think there's necessarily something wrong with it, but why aren't we just the light? That thing that we see different, why aren't we just that? So, because by being what you believe and what you see is going to shed light instead of pointing out or, you know, calling out false or non-truth. Why not show the truth and live the truth and speak it when you are led? I think that positiveness and focusing on the like-mindedness is going to then show.
So that was a little bit of what we talked about last week, focusing more on what you're building than what you're tearing down, right?
Yes.
But
I believe if the body would do that, we would accomplish so much more, and I think we would actually be looking for in someone else, looking for, hey, what can I add to you, instead of first saying, what can you add to me? But it will be a
okay.
I don't know.
All right.
Sounds pretty good.
Some of it too is.
You tell me. What do you think?
Well, no, I'm looking at, you know, there's been this concept that we need to look the same, we need to think the same. We've put an importance on conviction or belief on things that actually I don't think are super important to Father God.
Right.
That this is the only way, and this we need to agree upon, or you're off, and I cannot associate with you because that will mean I'm also off. You know, even when somebody makes a mistake, and we're not super behavior focused, but in the past there was a whole thing like, this person sinned or whatever, we need to stay as far away so we do not look like we are associated with that. When you look at the heart of Father and humanity, and they forgot who they were and turned from him, he did not say like, but that comes from our point of view, thinking that, you know, Father's holy and he cannot dwell with sin, and therefore he rejected us. That's not the case. Like, he came after humanity and spent the Bible saying, hey, come, I'm here. This is who I am. This is who you are. Come. And so he did not reject humanity when they had a different point of view or a different understanding, even in that. And so we took on that role where it's
Yeah.
like, hey, we need to all look the same. We need to believe all these things. We need to conform. And if you don't believe X, Y, and Z, I don't want to be associated with you and that. And so that's created a lot of separation and put a kind of a stop or a stall to a lot of kingdom solutions because, well, there's so many different denominations and streams and passions and expressions, and I can't work with you. And so we keep limiting our circle to who we can run with because they don't look the same. So that's almost like the religion in a negative sense side.
Well, and I think too that people are maybe scared, and I've had those thoughts before, in the past, that then maybe people think I condone certain things, behaviors or whatever, and then when I look at Jesus when he walked on the earth and who he was, and it's like, man, if you would look at him and who he walked with, it's like, well, that didn't mean any, there was no separation. And I think that's just what religion does. Religion has all these boxes, and it's all cut and dry and black and white and all like,
for lack of a better term, the religious spirit, let's say, or religion as a negative entity,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Or
a
controlling,
yes. I mean,
conformity.
The thing Jesus called out in his day all the time, okay? That thing. Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's like, I just can't do that with you, or can't, say that, because it might look, and even on social media, right? Oh my word.
Yeah, so
we are here on social, and I love technology, but it's like people just.
So I think being able to press in and say, hey, does this really matter? What is the result coming for this? Is it a kingdom result?
Yeah.
Because we can even collaborate with pre-kingdom people, or people that do not yet know who they are and who Father is. When the result is a kingdom result, right? And so, sometimes Christians are like, well, you're not a Christian. I cannot work with you or operate with you. But what is the result you're bringing? Is it bringing, an upgrade for humanity? Is it bringing Father's heart in some form or fashion, or a solution that's going to address something that Father cares about, even if they are not a Christian yet, or pre-kingdom, And then secondly, can I collaborate with other believers or kingdom people, kingdom citizens, even if they see things slightly differently? Does this really have to disrupt what we can do together? Can we collaborate? Can we run together? And then, so you have let's conform, we need to look the same, but that doesn't work because we all have these unique identities, personalities. Certain mountains were called to, expression of Father, his manifold wisdom expressed in the earth. This whole side of the greatness of Father God is love in his heart expressed. Yeah. And then you have the political side that's kind of like what you were saying. What can I do for me? You must agree or disagree. It's me against you. There's never, so it wants to form a battle line, and let's have confrontation and conflict. So you either have to conform to look like me, or we're going to battle it out because we disagree. So you have these two sides that kind of, people call the political spirit and the religious spirit. Ultimately, what that's done is we've allowed that to form a certain way of thinking in humanity. We've embraced that. Mm-hmm. And so we operate in this space where we've given brain space to, hey, you're either for me or against me. Let's fight it out. But I encourage us and everyone, let's look, what is Father's heart in this? What is the kingdom solution? What is the kingdom result that can come from this? How can we begin to run together on another level, like collaborate on another level? Because there's so much that we can accomplish. There's so much power in the unity of, just collaboration. let's bring a solution here.
Yeah.
Let's bring Father's Heart
Yeah.
here. Let's bring something that's going to bring, be an upgrade for life, for humanity.
Yeah, and together is better, and you are stronger and you are better. It's a more complete picture, and it's okay to disagree on things, and you're not going to everyone is not for everyone, okay? And so, but you believe, and you are the expression that comes authentically from who you are. And as you shine that light, darkness will just, disappear. And so
So we're not saying, don't stand up for truth. Definitely stand up for truth.
No.
Definitely have a
Absolutely.
conviction. Definitely,
Absolutely.
Bring reformation, reform, bring truth in your area.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you have to compromise. And
Well, I was just thinking that, without compromise, but what does that mean?
But yeah, maybe redefine what compromise is and where it actually matters to Father God, because I think we've drawn lines certain places.
Yeah. I think you can be without compromise, yet still truly, authentically love someone.
Yeah. So if you're called to be a voice, and you're called, then you need to call some things out, and you need to highlight, this is what's wrong, but this is where we're going. Do that. That's not everyone. If you're called to build something and build something of more truth, then build it. Please hear what we're not saying, or don't assume. How does that line go?
Don't hear what we're not saying.
Right. So,
hear our hearts and hear what we are
so
saying.
I'm not saying, completely shut down, but no, be unique.
Yeah.
Push after what Father's has placed inside of you. Find areas where you can collaborate, where there's kingdom connections, even outside of, even connecting with a pre-kingdom person to say, hey, this is going to bring a technology or result that's going to bring life.
Yeah.
Stand up for truth, all that good stuff.
Sorry.
No?
I'm
Please.
interrupting. When you look at Daniel or Esther or Joseph, with Daniel and Esther, those kings were still in their story. Pharaoh was in Joseph's story, okay? And the things would not have happened the way they happened. Nations would not have been changed if they both were not in that story. And so you can come with a radical thing of, this is how it is, and I am never going to yada, 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 whatever. Or we can see, okay, what are the things that we can join together in and bring life to something, bring original intent to a business, to a system, to a life, to a body, to a whatever it is, whatever you're passionate about. And I think if you see life, you're gonna bring life, and leave it at that.
So let's find ways to connect, to collaborate together, run at the same speed. We're headed a similar direction, but we may have some different points of view, or some different passions and different areas of desire, and that's fine. Let's collaborate where we can and just continue to bring life, serve well, love well.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Cheers. Again, you're amazing. Collaborate, connect.
Yes.
Build something, be all that you can be and all that you are.
And as always, let us know if you have any questions, or, in the comments, who you are, say hi, replay, all the things. And we always just love to connect with you. And if you have questions, send us a message, DM us, whatever. And we're here every Thursday. Coffee and Convo.
Yes.
You never know what you're gonna get. It's always interesting. I never know. Well, hardly ever know what it's going to be. But this was it.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
All right.
See you next week.
See you. Bye.